Hello there everyone, this is Miriam, holistic life coach and mind-body practitioner at Pain Outside the Box. And today I'm going to talk about a concept that a lot of people who have been in chronic pain or have been suffering from chronic symptoms for a very long time are a little bit unfamiliar with. And that concept is trust in your body. So basically, we tend to continue suffering from chronic symptoms because we lose trust in our body's ability to change, right? And this is an important concept to grasp because for as long as you doubt your body, for as long as you respond to symptoms with fear, telling yourself things like, oh, here it comes again, I knew I couldn't do anything, oh, there it is, my body's broken. Each time you do this, you are reaffirming this particular reality to yourself, and you're also setting an expectation for next time. So basically, if you look into TMS or mind-body syndrome, you would know that certain symptoms appear due to an emotional experience, due to a distressing experience. So the first time that we may experience symptoms is usually around the time when we've gone through significant distress, whether it's with a family member, whether we were at risk of losing our job, financial problems, being in a pandemic. So usually people are able to make this correlation, if they really reflect and think about it, between the onset of symptoms and what was happening in their lives prior to that onset, usually in the few months or up to a year prior to the onset of symptoms. So by making that correlation, you're already saying, okay, so my body and my brain responded to that event in this way, okay? Now, why do symptoms become chronic? Symptoms become chronic because we develop a chronic pattern. And this chronic pattern can be emotional, right? So when we keep replaying certain negative feelings day after day, or certain negative thoughts day after day, we are creating the same cocktail of hormones, chemical imbalances, emotions, whatever, which affect the body. Through our own response to the symptoms we feel in the body, we keep on adding to that cocktail. We keep on adding more fear, more frustration, until we eventually end up identifying with our condition, okay? Especially as it persists or as we're told that it's becoming chronic. But today, I want you to think about this. I want you to think back to a time when you were quite sick, right? You were sick with something like an infection, like a virus, and you had some sort of evident symptoms, right? Can you recall how your body healed over a number of days? Can you recall how fast this process was, even if it took a few weeks, considering how bad you felt initially and how you improved in a linear manner? Can you remember how your body was able to heal itself, right? Even if you've broken a bone in the past, it might have taken 6 weeks, but the bone would have mended on its own usually, right? Especially if it's just a fracture, or else it mends with the help of surgery. But again, there is a healing process that takes place. Even when we have surgery for a broken bone, then we say, okay, now I have to spend 6 weeks in this cast, so everything solidifies, so everything heals up. So we know for sure that our body is able to heal itself from experience, right? So what happens in the case of chronic symptoms? As I said, in the case of chronic symptoms, they usually don't resolve because the pattern that has developed is chronic. There are numerous people who suffer from mind-body symptoms. Almost everyone suffers from mind-body symptoms. Why? Because as we go through life and we experience this or that, our body responds. So someone might get a headache now and then because he has to deal with someone difficult. All right, someone gets insomnia because he's worried about something. But the thing is, for people who do not develop these symptoms chronically, they have a way of not indulging unconsciously in chronic patterns, right? So for some people, the distressing event passes and then they're able to bring their brains and body back to balance. So because of that, symptoms resolve. Others have it way harder because maybe the symptom onset was so traumatic, and maybe, we can get pain and that is really intense and we start to worry about it. And also we might have really intense, distressing emotions that we keep on replaying if an issue hasn't been totally resolved. If you still feel worried or threatened about something significant, like your relationships, like your career, okay? Yeah, like your finances. So when there are chronic emotions, there are more likely to be chronic symptoms. But what we must remember is that just because there seems to be a chronic pattern, it doesn't mean that the body is broken. Why? Because if we recall when we were sick with something else, we know that the body is perfectly able to heal itself if it's allowed to heal itself. So what should we do? So today the focus was meant to be on the concept of trust, and I think it's still extremely relevant and a concept that not many people tend to emphasize, right? So of course there are various things you can do for mind-body symptoms, and I can't talk about all of them in this video. But I just want you to contemplate, how much do you trust your body? Do you view it as broken? Do you identify with a condition and keep expecting to experience the same condition? Because if you do not trust your body to change. You do not trust that the body can behave differently, right? So it all starts with trust. As soon as we start mistrusting a part of the body, we automatically tense up, we automatically exercise extra caution. With caution comes tension. With tension comes stress, and we keep on producing more negative emotions that are more likely to make our symptoms persist. And besides that, where we put our attention, the feeling tends to grow. So if we keep putting our attention on, let's say, shoulder pain and viewing our shoulder as, being broken, even though we've already had the scans and we know that there's nothing to be causing such extreme pain, if we keep viewing that shoulder as broken, we have no trust there. So it will be very hard to get over the pain completely, even if you have gotten over your emotional stressors that might have caused it to start in the first place. So I don't want to complicate matters for you here, but I just want you to contemplate, how much do you trust your body? If you can get yourself to relax, because of course, in order to heal or change in a positive way, we have to somehow relax our nervous system. So that's another step which I talk about in other videos. But basically, we need to relax our nervous system in various ways in order to allow an optimal state of health, right? But once we do that, we also need to trust that this is possible, that our body can change. We need to move about, knowing that even if there is some pain, this can get better, that our body is not damaged, that physical activity will not cause further damage or harm if we've excluded, obviously, acute injuries. So think about, how much do you consider your pain area or symptom area to be broken? Are you still looking for tests that indicate something is wrong? It's fine to do some tests, of course, to eliminate serious issues and to eliminate recent injuries. But are you still looking for a reason to justify the fact that your body might be broken, that part of the body might be broken? Because if you are lacking trust. You are lacking trust in the recovery process and the fact that your body can take much more than you think is possible, that your body can resume normal activity whether that normal activity is, normal walking and running, or whether it is a normal diet, depending on the symptoms you have. So that's it for today. Just wanted to give you something to think about, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.